Audio Jungle.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Tammy Doe, and today's topic is gonna be a really important one. It's probably the foundation of everything that we're gonna learn. It's basically saying is, have you ever wondered what people mean by following your heart or like following your dreams, right? Like all my life, I've been told like, hey, you need to go this route, be this, be that. Honestly, to be Asian, you only need to be a lawyer, doctor, or business owner. That's really what it takes to be successful, right? And so all my life I've been grown up to be taught to be a certain way. So I never really understood what it means to like follow your heart. And once I start learning about like crystals and the energies in the chakra system, it completely blew my mind away. And to really put it into perspective, I've been a financial advisor for the last going on 8 years. And last year, I even took it a step further where I thought, hey, maybe it's better if I become my own boss. And so I started out my own insurance brokerage. The moment that it really hit home for me was when we had Hurricane Harvey here in Houston. And my parents filed a claim for a flood within their home. And we got denied. And me being in the insurance industry, I started doing a little digging. And the more I followed the money, the more I saw like how much corruption there is in the background. And it just made me like sick to my stomach. All these years I knew like it wasn't for me. Like I've studied so many hours. Like I took a 7-hour test or 6-hour test and another 3-hour test on top of that to get my Security Series 766 license, investment license, and I still hated it. Like I tried so hard to get it, and when I achieved it, like there's still a void inside. Like it doesn't really matter. And so I keep going on this journey, which I never really understood why. And the more that I stayed in the industry, that's harder for me to leave, right? Does that make sense? And so after learning about the chakra system and working with crystals, which actually helps me hear my intuition a lot louder, I decided like, forget this. Like I'm done with this industry. Like in my heart, I knew I did not want to be in it, right? And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. You just don't know what direction to take or like how confident you are in like your dreams and your visions. But I'm really telling you, like there is something there that once you learn about the chakra system, like really do follow your heart, because if you steer off and you go down the wrong direction, it is continuously going to show you up as coincidences and like different messages for you to come back and get back on your track. Like you'll understand that like the more I create my videos and like talking about the chakra system, the crystals, like you'll start understanding like, hey, maybe it is real that I should follow my heart. Because the more that you stay in this corrupt world where a lot of stuff is hidden from us, you will realize like there's a right thing to do, and you should follow your heart because you will excel in whatever that you do. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy, but you will never feel like you have to work a day in your life. So let's get started on what the foundation of chakras are, and that's probably the first thing that you really need to know to really understand what it's like to follow your heart. Are energy vortexes throughout your body, and if you studied the law of attraction, Abraham Hicks' teachings, she talks about a vortex, like get into the vortex. So what the heck does it mean by a vortex? So everyone has 7 major chakras up and down their body along their spines, and each chakra is connected to an organ which connects to the glands that produces different hormones, which in turn create different emotions. And each chakra regulates a particular area in our life. And how these chakras respond are to vibrational frequency emitted by our thoughts, emotions, the food we eat, and even like the light or the scent or even the crystals and stones. That affects our different chakras in our body. In order to tell like an area of your life that's off balance, you would have to focus on each chakra. For example, the root chakra deals with survival, and when it's balanced, you're usually going with the flow or you feel secured and grounded. But when it's underactive, you would have like low self-esteem, insecurities, loneliness, and even depression. And so when you're feeling really depressed about something, consider that maybe your root chakra is not balanced. Now we move on to our second chakra, which is the sacral chakra. And this deals with your ability to relate to the world and having relationships. And so when you're off balance, you would feel like a dependency, right? A frustration, shame, depression, and like fear of pleasure. And so that's when you know that you're off balance. One thing to keep in mind that our emotions and our thoughts are actually vibrations. And if we hold on to certain negative emotions, they become blockages within our chakra system. And so where you're feeling like dependency or frustration, depression, rejection, you're creating those little energy blocks that's blocking up your chakra system. The third chakra is called the solar plexus, which is located a little bit above your belly button. And this area deals with your ego and your self-esteem. And when you're balanced, you would have like a confidence, you know what you're going, you know your worth. But when it's not balanced, you would feel a feeling of rejection, mistrust, worries, and even dependency on others to make it work because you don't have the ability to do so or the confidence to do so. The fourth and most important chakra is your heart chakra. This is the center of unconditional love. And so when it's balanced, you can express kindness and love freely. But whenever it's underactive, you would have the feeling of afraid of letting go, tendency to withdraw and feel unworthy of love. So now as we enter the higher chakras, the fifth one is the throat chakra, which is once you start opening up your heart chakra, energies will start flowing up into the higher chakra. The throat chakra deals with speaking your truth, communication, and self-expression. So when it's balanced, you can express the truth, ability to communicate, and be a person of integrity. But when it's not balanced, you would feel self-critical, articulate your thoughts, coward, and you're just afraid to speak up. Now, your sixth chakra, which is, as you can see, like the Illuminati, they have that pyramid with the eye, right? It is your third eye. It is actually a real thing, guys. And when you start opening up your third eye, you would have this clarity, like your intuition, and with the use of stones, right, crystals, I've noticed that, wow, like my intuition is telling me, it's like your inner compass is talking to you loud and clear. Hey, this is the direction to take. Do this, to do that. Like it no longer peeps in once in a while to tell you, hey, Tammy, like this is the right thing to do. No, now that when your third eye is actually up and flowing, you will constantly have your conscious or your higher self guiding you. And you can't really explain it. It's just like an inner feeling that is the truth. The seventh chakra is the crown chakra. And this deals with consciousness and connection with your higher self, right? Or the divine. And you will notice this a lot more clearly if you do meditation practices. When you're able to stop thinking, when you're in that surrender mode, right? The whole deal with meditation is to be in a surrender mode, to not think. And when you don't think, you get connected with your higher self and you're able to hear the messages from your higher self. And so when this crown chakra is blocked, that's when you feel like a lack of purpose, depression, confusion, or like lack of direction of where you want to go in life. So how they got their name as a spinning vortex is when you use a pendulum, and this is what they do in Reiki. When you put it on top of one of your chakras, you can notice it's spinning in a direction. So when I put it on my sacral chakra, I could see that spinning clockwise. And when I moved it up into my solar plexus chakra, a little bit up above my belly button, it moved counterclockwise. And then I moved it up into my heart chakra, and it moved clockwise again. And so you'll notice that every chakra you put on it ends up rotating in a different direction. Think of it this way. You have 7 poles up and down your body, and the flow starts from the bottom up, starting with your root chakra. And throughout your life, you have these little moments with intense emotions. For example, you had a heartbreak and you were never able to let go of those emotions. So those emotions are actually energy blocks that blocks up the flow of that heart chakra. And so it prevents the flow of the energy going up to the higher chakra. Another example is, let's say you cheated in a relationship, right? And that deals with the sacral chakra. And that feeling of guilt that you were never able to let go, well, that little intense emotion is blocking up your chakra. And when you use a pendulum on top of that chakra, you will see that it's not rotating as strongly as it should, and that means you're imbalanced. I mean, once I learned that, hey, if we're having these vortexes like constantly sucking in energy. And as you see in my other videos, which I constantly refer back to Dr. Emoto's rice water experiment, it shows us that our thoughts really does affect our physical environment. And so our thoughts, prayers, and intentions all have their own frequencies. If you look at this chart here, if you're having that feeling of guilt, shame, that's a lower vibration. But if you're feeling like love, joy, peace, all of that, we're vibrating a lot higher. And as you can see here, this chart, it correlates with the color of our chakras. Like, have you ever wondered why you feel like so negative when you're around like a negative person or a negative group of people? Right? Because their thoughts and their feelings, they're exuding this vibration of negativity. And if your aura is not strong enough, or like your aura is weak, or you don't have like the certain protection crystals or stones to protect your energy field, like you could possibly be absorbing those energies, and like some of those thoughts and feelings you have might not even be yours, right? That's the craziest thing. So consider this. The Egyptians, who were highly advanced for their time, are using stones and crystals for protections. So what does that tell us? Why is this advanced civilization using stones and crystals to protect themselves? If you take a look at the crowns of the royalties, right? Why are there crystals on their crowns? The crown is in the placement of their third eye and also their crown chakra. And necklaces, when we wear necklaces, is around our heart chakra. What does that tell us about crystals? Crystals carry their own vibration, and depending on each one, the frequency and vibration is different. The law of attraction states that like will attract like. And so when our aura or energy field is weak, we can actually absorb the negative energies around us without even knowing. And when that happens, these negative energies, negative thoughts come into our consciousness like it's our own. And that's something that you would have to be cautious about in using different stones for your protection. The next one is, how did chakras get their colors? Let's start learning about vibrations and light. Water that's vibrating at a certain frequency and then shedding a light on it. And when you shed the light on it, it turns a different color. Like the color of your chakra depending on your the vibration. Okay, now check this out. Thanks to my buddy at Journey of Curiosity for doing this awesome experiment. This is basically water vibrating at 528 hertz, right? This frequency is vibrating at a certain frequency, and when light hits it, it turns the color green. So the frequency is 528 hertz, which is the color of our heart chakra. And when light hits it, it turns green. How crazy is that? Have you ever wondered why, like, the Pope or the priest would always wear white, colors of higher chakras? Or even the royals would always be related to royal blue or purple? So let's think about Christmas.
Why is it always green and red? Could it be that Jesus is the color of the heart and that he's coming down on Christmas as our root chakra? So now, how does everything piece together? And so as you can see, each chakra is connected to an organ in our body, and each organ is connected to a gland, which the gland produces certain hormones, which the hormones produces certain feelings and emotions. Another thing to consider is whenever you're sick or you have an illness, take a look at which organ that chakra is connected with. And depending on that, you would go back and see which area of life that chakra governs. And there could be something there, such as an intense emotion or something that you're not able to let go yet. That's what's probably making you sick, or that intense energy block is preventing the flow and it's making you ill.
So you might be wondering, okay, Tammy, you might have a point. So if what you really say is true, how do I protect myself then? And my answer to you, and in my own experience, is crystals. Especially high vibrational energized crystals.
And so what I mean by that is high vibrational crystals will unblock the chakras. And so when your chakras are blocked, it's vibrating at a lower frequency. And so when it's introduced to these high vibrational crystals, it helps bring back the flow of your chakras. But just be cautious, because when your chakra starts flowing again, all those old intense emotions will show up, and you're going to have to deal with them one way or the other.
Excels your path to waking up, right? If you're in a state where you're struggling to find purpose and meaning, and you just like feel stuck, use crystals, high vibrational ones. I'm not saying that this stone, they like literally kicked my butt. Like honestly, and so much has changed in my life in the last 3-4 months, to a certain point where I have to question myself, like, is this really reality? And I'm noticing like I'm a lot more like comfortable with myself. Like as these emotions come up and I deal with them like one by one, I'm not saying it's like it's easy. It's really hard. That's what it's incredibly challenging. But the moment that you get over it, the moment it disappears from your body, the less you have to drag that weight around. And so as I deal with them like one by one, like family, relationships, work, friendships, like all of that shows up. And especially with motorbike, like the most powerful stone for your heart chakra. And I did a video on that. Like honestly, this stone has completely changed my life. One of the biggest factor that has changed my life. There are a few others, but this is probably one of the main ones. And so, crystals. And so I hope you stay tuned for the next video I'm going to do. It's going to be about crystals and how diet, using that combo together, you have no doubt what your purpose is. Like you will feel the pull, the guidance, right? And trust your intuition, right? That's when you know like something is right for you. You don't have any facts to back it up, but if you follow that, that's where it's going to lead you for, I guess you could say, your destiny or your faith. Stay tuned for my next video, and I hope you guys enjoyed everything I taught and what I will continue to be teaching, because I'm telling you, what I've learned about this completely changed the way I looked at the world, the way I viewed people, the way I viewed myself, and the way everything that's been taught to me has been challenged. And so that's one of the things you're gonna have to understand. You know, not everyone wants to wake up, but for those who do, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all I have for you guys today. Tammy Doe, signing off.